Konnichiwa.
Right on schedule.
I guess I'll start with that. By the way, virtual press conference, it's really fun. Right?
Like we're in the
hello,
future.
everyone out there. It was that point, when this script came along, it was that point in the pandemic, like 5-6 months in, when there was just kind of this air of depression. We were all getting a little stir crazy, and I read this really, really funny piece. I think I got by the Bad Bunny scene, and I laughed out loud, and that was it. But also, concurrently, was with an old friend of mine, Mr. Dave Leach, who, at one time, who we met as actor and stuntman relationship. He was my
for Ocean's 11, right?
Double. No, for Fight Club. He shows up in Fight Club a lot.
Wow.
I forget it. Mexican,
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Troy, looked good in a skirt. And
Thank you.
so it was really nice to come back around full circle, but this time with my man, the boss.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a blast. We again, I can't say how much of a positive experience this whole thing was.
And then, like Dave said, then all these guys jumped on and just lit the thing up. Because what's really funny about this piece, it's not about characters supporting, one main everyone's got their own agenda, and they all clash, and everyone here is such a high degree of talent that it was, we had a lot of good laughs.
There's this soulless psychotic leader with the largest criminal organisation on the planet shoved right inside us.
I don't see the White Death letting any of us off this train.
Yeah, it was. We weren't having fun at all. You could tell. It was
no.
a miserable time.
The Eiffel Tower is behind us, guys. It was great. I missed them. It was great. It was like a class reunion. We were together, filming this in 2020 during the pandemic, just for 5 months playing and joking around, and then we finally get to see each other now, and it was just the best reunion ever.
Outdoors. I don't think we.
I know.
saw
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
each other out.
We didn't see.
We were on a soundstage for that whole time. I mean, it was beyond exciting.
Oh,
That
birds.
was amazing.
That was
That's how I feel inside working with this cast. Just birds. Honestly, it's humbling, really. We made this at the beginning of the pandemic, and Brad jumped on board, and then it was like these actors started to gravitate towards us, and they rose to the surface, and this incredible cast came to play, and we enjoyed every second on set. And I can say I've made a lot of movies and been on a lot of sets in my life, but never had an experience like this. And it's a testament to how great these people are as actors, but all they are as human beings. And we had a great time.
That was one of the things that was really fun about this script, is that it's about fate, and such an unconventional theme for such a commercial film. And that was one of the things that I think David and I responded to immediately. And they all do have sort of different stories in the middle of it, and there for different journeys. And that's part of what fate is you don't really know why you're there or how you're doing it or how to control it. And you just kind of end up in a spot.
I mean, that was a huge part of it. I mean, I couldn't have built this character Tangerine without Brian's input in his for Lemon. I think, firstly, I felt extremely fortunate and lucky to be opposite. We've talked about the talent on this. It was a collaboration, but to be with Brad and Joey. But my, my partner in crime was Brian Tyree Henry, and without him, I couldn't have built this character. And we instantly hit it off. Thank goodness, because I love this man. He's incredibly. I've always enjoyed watching Brian as well as an actor. I was already a huge fan of his work. So and then we just had this instant chemistry, and it was built on just love and trust and
Okay.
You haven't seen that movie yet. Let's not give it away.
Brad, thank you.
No, we was able to build upon these characters and bring them and actually have a backstory to it. And I think we was able to improvise and really make some bold decisions. And I think because of those bold decisions, really is a testament to David Leitch as a director. He gave us that environment and that room and that space to be able to explore and experiment. But yeah, Brian is like my main man.
Yeah, it's very rare, I guess, in this business to meet somebody that you can just be absolutely fucking stupid with.
Yeah.
And like and I think
and it shows on screen.
I think we captured that in the best possible way. But it was instantaneous. As soon as I met Aaron, it was like, oh, I have a buddy to just sit here and be crazy and silly with. But at the same time, it was rooted in actual like care for one another and trust for one another. And David allowed us to build it from that because we didn't want to just be this pair that people didn't care about. We really wanted people to care about Lemon and Tangerine, and because Aaron and Brian, care about each other. So it built from there for sure.
We need to come up with a plan. I'm gonna hurt people.
I let the movie grow. Like, I don't want to ever strangle it. And I think that, even when we had early conversations with Aaron about, his character, and when you got on set and it started to come to life between you two, I just let it run. Like, I mean, it was tame for a second, and then it started to grow and grow. And I'm like, I don't want to cage this because it's gold. And you have to realize that as a director and let it go. And I'm so grateful that you guys were like delivering.
I just remember the quiet car, and it was like, you two were trying to make each other laugh. I think every time.
Just like, I was like, if I break Brad, then I've pretty much done what I need to do. And he's pretty easy to break. I found like it's pretty easy to break.
I'm just easy all the way around.
He's known to be easy.
That's what she said.
But like,
all right.
We do that all the time. And
pretty sharp bunch here. She's the wittiest. She's the sharpest.
One of my favorite things is always people like ask me like, what similarities do you share with your character? I'm like, she's a fucking psychopath. Like, I don't share much similarity with Prince. I'm not a vengeful assassin, but being able to play with this character and just like have David be so wonderful about just letting me find her and play around, because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Listen, she could have gone either way. She could have been just like menacing and like so stone cold the whole time. Or she could just be so outlandishly crazy and really play with like how psychotic she is. And so most days I would just give a kind of like a read of both and then a kind of a read in between. Because I ultimately wanted to like find her, but also wanted like David to find her when it came time to edit her and figure out like what complemented every other character best too. Because it's such a cool cast of characters, and the Prince, my bad. She is just so like out there, weird, freaking stylish, and awesome. And I just wanted her to fit in this world, however seemed best.
Where you play the princess, right?
Yeah, it's like the princess, the prince, and like my last name's King. It's kind of a fun.
Yeah, that's.
Mic drop on that shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna drop the mic, but then I was like, that's gonna be so loud.
First of all, he's a chump, and the chump is the most fun role to play, hands down. The chump, but no, we kind of pictured it was. Listen, the DNA for him was all in Zach's writing, but we kind of thought it like maybe he was coming from a mental breakdown, certainly an absence from work, and maybe he'd had a couple of months of therapy under his belt, and therefore he thought he had all the answers, and life is just going to be peachy keen and roses, and we can solve conflict peacefully. And this doesn't go.
Ladybug's lines really do sound like a 22-year-old going through like a self-discovery.
Exactly. The sad thing is that's pretty much where I am in life.
Deer Creek International Business Solutions, how can I help you?
I am ready.
Well, that's great, Ladybug.
Ladybug.
Your new operational name?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Ladybug's supposed to be lucky. Ha!
You don't have bad luck.
First of all, Sandy's a dear old friend. Sandy is someone I can call on for any favor, and she's always there. She'll drop whatever she's doing, and she's done me some really big favors.
Okay.
And so when this came along, we thought it'd be really cool to call her again for another favor. And she did, but this time she said, "But I got something as well in return." And that was her and Channing's film. I like this idea that we can cross-pollinate each other's projects and And anyway, she's a dear old friend. I love her to bits. And we got to mention Channing too, because he's another one. And his timing.
He's great. I showed up to set because he played my dad many years ago, and I showed up to set.
Weird.
Yeah, not weird.
What?
Yeah, he played my dad in White House Down. Yeah, but like I showed up to set and I went in the makeup room and I was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm in this movie." He's like, "Well, so am I for a little
go to
bit."
your room.
I was like, "Well, I'm in it more."
What's happening to your face? Maybe there was a little head trauma?
Maybe. I gotta get off this train.
Oh, I think it influenced it a lot. I mean, that was a great experience. That Deadpool 2 was, you know, a master class in sort of like working with someone who's great at improv with Ryan, and then taking that skill to this set and allowing that sort of exploration to happen on set in real time and not strangle it but foster it. And look, my sensibilities, I love comedy, I love action, and I love genre, hard-boiled genre. And I think these types of movies, they're commercial, and you can have messages in them that you couldn't have in dramas other ways. And so we try to always, like, again, Bullet Train has this theme of fate. It has a theme of brotherhood with these two. It has a theme of redemption with Andrew Koji's character. And I think that you can have it a little bit of like philosophy and a cool message in a movie that has like commercial comedy and things like that. So that's why I like to mix it all up. Like,
I think we were really you know, this is a David Leitch action movie. You know, it's his stunt team, 8711. I mean, we were so like we're in the best hands there is. You know, and you know what's exciting is to be able to dive into those stunts when you get scenes where you get to play stunts and do action. I mean, that's the most exciting thing as an actor. But with this team, they really encourage and support you to do that. But what was really exciting was that each character had a very distinctive style, and I really liked that kind of that detail that this 8711 gave to it and Leitch wanted. So then it was again back to us to kind of really play with that and experiment with what our styles could be, and that's when you see this beautiful clash of all these different characters and their kind of style.
I wanted a slow motion walk. That's all.
Oh,
I signed on for a slow motion walk, and
I got a mini one.
But I gave you one.
And you gave me one.
I got a little bit. I got one. And I was like watching the movie, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like it's all you ever wanted, man. And I think that what was really fun is that David, because he knows this world so well, he got to be the stunt guy for this guy here. So like he's gonna get in there with you. He's gonna sit there and like literally get in there with you. You always felt safe. It always felt fun. And it makes you want to do more. Like I would look at my stunt double. I'm like, sit your ass down. I'm doing it. Like, I'm like, I want to do it. And that's something that's incredible from David,
Well, you did. We had this, he does a double kick to one of the bad guys in the finale fight. And you were like, I'm training for this thing. I'm doing it. And you put in the time, and we're like, that's not an easy thing to jump up, kick somebody with two legs, fall flat on your back. Like, I was like, we can really, this is the time where I would say, let's put in a stunt performer. And you're like, no.
I was like, no.
I'm doing it.
What do you mean? And regardless, like you just made us want to do it. You made us want to play. And then with the people you're playing with, it was like, it was so fun to fight Brad. Like, it was just like, I didn't know it was going to be that much fun. Like I remember strangling you at one point, having you in a headlock, and he would call cut, and we just rest. Just chill there.
I just remember you smelled so nice.
Thank you.
Fresh.
Thank you. I tried.
Hi. You don't remember me.
You look like every white homeless man I've ever seen.
Really? You don't remember me? Eat a bag of dicks, lady. I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually one of, every project that you enter, it's sort of like, there's always a problem. There's always a concern of some kind. And I think that one of the major concerns that David had jumping in was, how am I going to entertain all these people on a fucking train for like 2 hours?
Yeah.
And of course the characters are amazing, but are we just going to have the same look all around them the whole time? And so it really quickly became a conversation with the production designer David Schuneman, who we've done a lot of projects with. It was like, how do we create these different vibes within the train, so that there's more, there's different feel, but it feels like almost like a different world, and there's more props and different things that you can play with as well. And then critical for David was creating outside of the train an opportunity to really escape when you leave, for the stories that are sort of like the backstories of the characters, as well as like any moment that you have outside of the train. Let that be a big relief and opportunity to just kind of like escape from the moving vehicle.
Totally. And it was partly driven by COVID. Like, we had to do this whole thing on a soundstage at Sony. And it sort of drove this heightened version of the world that we created. I think there was a moment where I was thinking, like, we're going to get to go to Tokyo. This is going to be so fun. I'll see you guys there. And then it was like, oh, yeah, but we're not. And so, we're going to be in a box, for not literally a box, a tube inside of a box. And so all the choices that Kelly said, like, they were driven by the time. And again, that's how, as a filmmaker, you react. It's like you go into the movie and you're like, if you stranglehold something, at least from my experience, you strangle it, it'll never grow, and you just have to let it breathe and like guide it and water it and like embrace the things that are positive and yeah, let it grow. Let it grow.
I'm turned
Those
on.
are the birds earlier.
I'm turned on every time that you say strangle it.
Let it grow.
But I gotta say, the technology is amazing. If you think of like an old Hitchcock movie with a rear projection when someone's in the car, now what we were able to do, what they designed was massive video walls, like 3 car lengths long, 20 feet tall, I don't know how tall, and they'd film the entire journey from Tokyo to Kyoto. So we would have this moving in the outside the window, so we didn't feel stagnant at all. And in fact, some of the cast members, I'm going to say Gene Black especially, got motion sickness.
Oh,
in the
Don't let him do this to you, Gene.
In a train sitting still.
Yeah. Getting up in the morning is difficult.
Yeah.
Early hours. But really, I mean, this one, I don't know, the banter, the hanging out with these guys was pretty automatic, pretty much a pleasure. And
Pretty much.
Mostly.
Most of the time.
Mostly. I have mostly good memories of you all. No, I mean, you work with the best. There's just just some these rhythms that happen that is just that is so much fun that you go home at the end of the day and feel really, really fulfilled. And we're figuring this thing out as we go along, and I think that's the fun, that's the adventure, that's the task, and to me the most rewarding, because we don't know where it's going to land.
Shitballs. You're going to want to hear the whole story.
What's waiting for us in Kyoto?
The White Death, with his army of assassins.
Metaphor for trains and
was it
tunnels?
really a metaphor for
Well,
life?
I mean, the person who's got the most metaphors about trains in the movie is Brian, with his whole Thomas the Tank Engine.
Joey is such a stunt. No, I mean, like, truly, like, trains are like the way that it was one of the first ways for us to get to each other on different sides of the world and countries, connect people. It's a hodgepodge of people on this moving platform or this moving train vehicle trying to get somewhere. And it's like, I think of it a lot like theater, right? So like when you go to watch a movie, it brings all these people from different walks of life to sit down and be quiet for 2 hours and to go on a journey together. So it takes a certain amount of trust, right? So I guess the same goes with travel, even though travel is trash most times. But like, yeah, I think that's what the train is a metaphor for, is that all these different walks of life are coming together, and their destinations may be different. Well, their destination is the same, but their travel is different. So
David's the Thomas as well.
I feel really good about that. Wow. That is on the poster.
I'm going to use that in the next set of interviews. Totally agree.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, simmer down now.
Slow down.
See what happens here.
I thought all their stories just wrapped up perfectly. No, look, like, I think if your lips to God's ears or all of their lips to God's ears or whatever, like, I think we had a blast making this movie, and we had a blast creating this really fun, heightened world. And yeah, there's so much to explore. I mean, we could we could have prequel. We could have explore characters. We could go on another journey on a different vehicle. I don't know.
Yeah, we
but
played
again,
with that.
We honestly, I think we would all love to get together again and do something.
I mean, it was there, and I was like, oh, shit. It's like, I have to really, like, I used to watch Thomas the Tank Engine. I mean, like, I think we all, like, had a connection to Thomas the Tank Engine. It's just that Lemon has a very strong connection to Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm not going to lie. I did not go and look at more episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine because I thought that'd be creepy as a grown-ass man to watch Thomas the Tank Engine. But, like, I knew
you are
that...
not a serious actor.
I'm not method enough. But it was just fun to, like... It was pretty much there on the page. Like, it was really fun to, like, have that little monologue of how he can use this cartoon as a way to decipher if someone's good or bad, and you know, and how he really believes it. So, you know, I think we all have those little things that we like hold on to that are pretty precious, that we like, our little superstitions or our little telltale things that we have. And his just happened to be this damn blue train that talks. And I was like, that's also kind of weird because it's all these talking trains, and it's like, but Thomas the Tank Engine is his thing, and I know I foresee this now that everyone is going to start asking me about this train, and I'm going to start getting Thomas the Tank Engine things, and I'm begging you not to do that.
Oh, okay.
Like, please don't send me anything Thomas the Tank Engine related. Thank you.
Okay.
But Aaron's Ringo Starr was
his voice.
Wow. Phenomenal.
That was my version. That's the one I saw when I was a kid. I was Ringo who did the narration.
Can you do it for us now? Come on.
Oh,
Aaron.
Kelly.
I'll save it.
The price of admission.
So we came to it in the first draft of the script phase. So, you know, we read Zach's adaptation, and we were really inspired by it and excited about it. Then I went back and read the novel, and was equally as excited and saw, like, you know, the massive potential. I think the biggest thing for me that I wanted to adjust was 7 sociopaths on a train, and like it could get really grim really quick. 6.5 sociopaths on a train. And how to find the humanity in these characters, right? And so we really worked hard to make them relatable and fun. Whether or not they're redeemable, maybe none of them are really redeemable, but at least you could go on this journey with them and go, I can relate to them and like experience like real feels and some drama, but mostly this bombastic comedic experience where you're just going along for the ride.
Something else going on here.
What's waiting for us in Kyoto?
The White Death with his army of assassins.
We need to come up with a plan.
Was that a snake?
It appears.
I was kind of more I wasn't the brawny one of this bunch. I think the hardest physical thing I had to do was just be in my cute little heels all day. But to say it was exhilarating to be part of this is like an understatement. I mean, this is like when I got on my first day of set here, I grew up in LA, yet I feel like it was like my first day in LA all of a sudden. It was just amazing. A little bit of the imposter syndrome set in, but I kind of expressed that to my fellow castmates here, and everyone was just, I mean, it's amazing to hear from people like Aaron and Brian and Brad, like, no, like, you deserve to be here, you belong here, and we're like happy to have you. And just immediately made me feel so comfortable, even though like inside I was like, I feel like a fish out of water, but in like a really good way. I just, there's no way to describe how positive this experience was. Not only did I love my character, and I loved the people that I was getting to wake up and spend 12 hours with every day.
Okay. You smashed it, by the way, just to be very clear. Like, you are going to go down in history as one of the craziest goddamn villains that everyone has ever seen. So, like, it was an honor to play with you. Like, you killed it.
Not only that, I thought Joey was a Brit for the first 2 weeks.
No, you didn't.
Yes, and I'd seen your work before, and I just thought, oh, well, she does a really good American accent.
That is so great. That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
And no, I felt a bit foolish.
You're gonna shit their pants.
Yeah, I like that.
So if you're constipated, this is the movie.
This is the one that'll loosen you up.
This is it. Get ready to.
Again, we all jumped on this as it just felt like salve for this time of lockdown, and even today it still plays that way. It's great summer fun.
We are right on schedule.
Have you tried these smart toilets?
Stop playing with the toilet.
别忘了订阅我们的频道，打开小铃铛就不会错过任何精彩内容，随时上架。我们下回再见。